Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, we've got an incredibly fascinating breakdown for you today. We are going to be diving into the classic story of Princess September. Now, right off the bat, you might be thinking this looks like just another simple fairy tale from a textbook, but as we're going to see, it uses some very distinct vocabulary and clever reading comprehension clues to teach an absolutely profound lesson about human nature. Let's get into it.
So, before we jump in, I really want you to keep this one core question at the front of your mind. If you truly love something, should you hold it tightly or let it go? Keep that bouncing around in your head, because it is the exact dilemma our main character faces today. It's a totally timeless question, and honestly, the way this text tackles it is just brilliant.
Part 1. The Sisters' Ominous Advice.
Okay, so our story kicks off in a palace, right? We've got this cheerful little bird who brings immense joy to Princess September by singing a different beautiful song for every single princess. But in a major turning point, the other sisters start getting super jealous. They visit September and literally plant this dangerous seed of doubt. When she mentions the bird is visiting his home, they immediately start questioning if he's actually going to return, suggesting he might just forget about her or maybe take a fancy to someone else.
Their ultimate recommendation boils down to two little words from the text. Safety first. They tell her, hey, just pop the little bird into a cage and keep him there. Sounds like they're just looking out for their sister, right? Well, actually, scratch that. They are completely masking their own jealousy and spite behind those words. And here is where the text gives us a massive clue. It specifically highlights that the sisters spoke ominously. That vocabulary word means suggesting that something terrible is about to happen. The author purposely uses this word to signal to us that their advice isn't helpful at all. It's actively designed to create anxiety and fear right in Princess September's heart.
All right, let's move right along to part 2, the golden cage.
Let's see how all this fear-mongering builds into a terrible mistake. When the little bird eventually flies back, he suspects absolutely nothing, because he's so used to September. But she is completely fueled by the fear her sisters just planted. So she grabs him, carries him over, and slams him shut inside a golden cage. Just like that, he is trapped. He's totally cut off from the beautiful blue sky he loves flying in. Now, to justify these drastic actions to this incredibly shocked bird, she points out his new ivory perch. The text defines ivory as a hard, yellowish material made from the tusk of an elephant. September, genuinely but mistakenly, thinks that offering him this expensive, luxurious item can somehow replace his liberty. Spoiler alert, it definitely doesn't.
And she doesn't stop there. She also uses the excuse that Mama's cats are prowling about tonight. Prowling meaning moving quietly and quickly with the intention of hunting. By throwing this word out there, she claims she's just keeping him safe from hunters. But we know, and the bird definitely knows, this is just a super convenient excuse to exert control over him.
Part 3. A Loss of Song. This next section is absolutely fascinating because the text starts using the bird's song as a literal barometer for his spirit. It prompts us to consider this vital mystery. Why did the little bird stop right in the middle of his song? He tries to sing after eating his supper inside the cage, but he just can't finish it. It's challenging us to look a little deeper into the emotional toll of him being captured. Well, the answer to that question is all about the illusion of the cage. Even when September tries to compromise and takes him for a walk to see the lake and the willow trees, the bird points out a heartbreaking reality. It's just not the same. The rice fields and the lake look entirely different when you have to look at them through thick iron bars. Because of this, he completely loses his appetite, and worse, he loses his desire to sing entirely.
And this all culminates the very next morning. September wakes up and finds him looking as if he were dead, with his little eyes closed. When she finally manages to wake him, he hits her with this devastating line. I cannot sing unless I'm free, and if I cannot sing, I die. He's basically explaining his core biological and spiritual need for freedom. Without it, he literally ceases to be the joyful creature she loves so much.
Which brings us to part 4, the gift of freedom. This forces a massive climax where Princess September has to finally confront the severe consequences of her need for control. The text tells us she was anxious when the bird wouldn't eat a thing, and that vocabulary word means deeply, truly concerned. It's a huge shift in her character. She's no longer just worried about herself or her sister's opinions. She is genuinely terrified for the well-being of the creature she loves. So, the text maps out the true path to resolution here. Princess September realizes her restrictive love is literally killing the bird. She tells him,
I shut you in a golden cage because I loved you, but I never knew it would kill you. So she does the hardest thing. She opens the window to grant him his freedom so he can be happy in his own way. And in return, he promises to always, always come back and sing for her.
The text has this great little detail where it notes she gently placed the bird on the sill. The word nest defines a sill as a narrow shelf below a window. But come on, in the context of this story, it is so much more than that. It is the physical threshold between his forced captivity and his newfound freedom. It's the exact boundary line where she has to finally let him go. And the result of this choice? Totally triumphant. The bird flies off into the endless blue sky, and September just stands there with her arms wide open. And he keeps his promise. He returns to sing for her, proving that true affection requires immense trust, not a lock and key. She learns to keep her window open for him, day and night.
Finally, Part 5. Story Lessons and Reflections. So, what is the crucial point we can take away from decoding all of this? It's the stark contrast between the manipulative advice of those jealous sisters and the actual vital needs of the little bird. We've seen a clear battle between the cage of jealousy and the open window of trust. Trying to possess something purely out of fear, putting your own desire for security way above the happiness of another, it almost destroyed the very thing Princess September loved the most.
All right, now that we've unpacked the deeper meaning behind the vocabulary and the text's themes, I want to leave you with one final thought. Think about your own life for a second and ask yourself, how do you treat the things or the people that you cherish most? When you feel that fear of losing them creeping in, are you going to build a golden cage, or will you have the courage to leave your window open? Think about it. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep learning.